Hello planners and transport nerds, welcome back to Talking Planning. So I've actually realised, now that they're announcing that the CityCycle is going to be scrapped eventually, that I've never actually used one. So I thought, for a bit of fun, we're going to try one out today. So let's go on a quick little adventure and see how we go. Today's journey started at CityCycle Station 114, located on the corner of Colchester Street and Ernest Street in Southbank, just across the road from the TAFE and near Southbank Busway Station. So let's have a quick look at what you need to do to unlock a bike and how to get riding. So this payment screen is the first thing you're greeted with, so let's see how this works, if it's easy to use, and if it's good value for money to test it out. So can we manage this? Casual pass, I've never bought one before. Let's see if this works. Okay. $2 casual pass. That sounds alright. Unlimited 30-minute trips. We'll give it a go. Wear a helmet. All the T's and C's. Helmet. Check your bike. 30 minutes. Scroll through more of this. This is very long and very long. Basically, as long as I don't ride like an idiot, I should be okay. So we can jump to the end. Let's see if this works. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I've got a casual pass. Now I can take a bike out and we can go. CityCycle has a website that provides updates, tips and tricks, as well as a summary of the terms and conditions. In simple terms, you've got to be over 17 years old, you must wear a helmet and you must return the bike within 24 hours, otherwise it's considered stolen. They even have a little map of all the different hire stations, which is actually pretty useful. Sadly, the website is quite slow, outdated and awkward to use on a mobile device, and it lags behind the websites from other transport providers like TransLink. So now that I've got my helmet on for safety, it's time to go for a ride, see how we go, and see how well these bikes perform, if they're any good, and whether it's a shame that they're going to be gone, or whether it should be a good riddance, so to speak. Because I did this review entirely on the fly, I was a little caught out without a camera mount, so we're just going to have to rely on my creative genius to make it all work. See if this works better. Surprisingly, it seems like it might. Turns out, just placing your phone in the basket and setting it to selfie camera doesn't give you great footage to work with. But since I couldn't come up with a better plan, let's make our way into Southbank, where I can stop and show you the bike in a little more detail. Let's give it a whirl. Let's just say I didn't plan this out very well at all, so I didn't bring a camera mount or anything with me, so I'm just trying to very slowly make my way around and keep completely off-road for safety reasons. But, you know, it works, it's functional, does the basics. It's got a couple of gears. It's got a low gear for getting up those light to moderate gradients. It's got a medium gear for normal cruising, and it's got a high gear so you can actually move a little bit. It's not perfect, but I tell you what, it's better than I expected when people said that they were so bad. It's really not that bad, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. So whilst we've got the bike out, let's do a quick tour and I'll show you around what we've got. Alright, so we've got the essential bell, which you just turn like that. You've got a release button. Big warning stickers about wearing helmets because we're very strict about that in Australia. You've got gears. We've got 3 of them in fact. That's the docking station adapter, so you slide the bike in using that. We've got inboard brakes. And we've got an easy to adjust seat, which is really nice and handy. And of course, everyone wanting to jump in the shop. But nah, it's pretty good. If you're riding all the time, you definitely want your own bike, trust me. But it's still worth giving one of these a go, because there's nothing wrong with them. They're basic, they do what they need to do. And compared to not having a bike at all, it's a pretty good alternative. From South Bank, I started to head towards CityCycle Station 89, on the corner of Main Street and Holman Street at Kangaroo Point, just right next to the ferry terminal. The ride between both of these stations is around 3.3 k's and can take anywhere from 10 to about 30 minutes, depending on your level of fitness, your propensity to sightsee, and the number of ignorant dog walkers. But after a gentle 6 or 7 minute ride, I arrived at the base of the Kangaroo Point cliffs. Let's just say I'm far from calling myself a fitness freak. But these bikes are not necessarily difficult to ride, so in fact they're actually quite easy. They've got reasonably well spaced gears, and if you've ever wanted to just go for a casual ride, I really don't have too many complaints. If you're a professional cyclist who loves their LYCRA and protein shakes and all of that jazz, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're a casual rider, there's really nothing too major wrong with this one. I'll admit, I just turned around to take a photo and the seat did kind of swing round with me, but hey, you know, there's always got to be something to be expected with a public bike. But overall, I actually think it might be a bit of a shame that these are going. There are rumours that there are going to be some e-bikes, and I'm keen to try those, but these bikes actually, I don't know if they really deserve the bad rap they got. They're certainly better than the Melbourne O-bikes that everyone likes to throw in a river. So, yeah, try one while you can is what I say. Shouldn't have started in third. And I need to get over to the cycle side. Hopefully there's a gap up ahead to do that. I know. Pick the bike up. Oh, they're heavier than I thought. That didn't work quite as well as I'd hoped. Note to self, popping your phone in the basket as a camera mount option does not work quite as well as a GoPro, but it does the trick. Oh, we're getting a bit of speed on now, we're probably not doing 20, but still fairly stable. And it stops okay too. After another 7 or 8 minutes, I decided to stop by the now closed Thornton Street Ferry Terminal, which after a sudden withdrawal of the city ferries is left in a pretty sad state. But by the looks of that sign, this ferry terminal won't be coming back. And after yet another few minutes, I made it to Holman Street, so now it's time to dock the bike and finish the ride. As you can see, the bike simply slides into place and you hear a beep. Or not. So let's have another go. And another. And another. But fortunately, I didn't have to do anything else. It was all sorted. Okay, there's no beep. But there it is. Locked. Done. Now that we're stopped, we can swap the horrible sweaty helmet for the cap, which is great. So while I'm waiting for my next ferry, let's talk costs. I paid $2 to use the bike for a 24-hour casual hire pass, and that covers all trips under 30 minutes. For longer journeys, you simply just pay a supplement to continue the use of the bike up to a maximum of 24 hours. In order to use the bike though, there is a $50 pre-authorization charge. This covers some of the costs if the bike is stolen or not returned within that 24-hour window. In my case, they didn't go and deduct $50 from my account. Instead, I just had $2 taken out a few days later, but you should just keep in mind that your bank might do something a little different. Alright, so I think it is time to try a less sweaty and energy exerting way to get back home, So I want to say thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon, and I'm going to jump on the ferry and head back into town.